You know that voice inside your head? Yeah, that one. More often than not, it's not exactly your biggest fan, right? It's our inner critic, and man, it can be relentless. But what if we could do more than just put up with it? What if we could actually tame it? Let's dive in.
Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. Picture this. You just messed up. Maybe you missed a deadline, or you forgot a really important meeting. In that split second, when it's just you and your thoughts, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably going to be something like this.
Yeah? Sound familiar? That kind of harsh, almost automatic self-talk is incredibly common. It's like the default setting for our inner critic. So the big question is, where does this voice even come from? And why is it so darn powerful?
Well, if we want to change this relationship we have with ourselves, first we've got to look under the hood. We have to understand what's really driving that critical voice. Because it's not just random negativity. Nope, it's powered by some of our deepest, most complicated emotions.
The fuel for that inner fire. It's often this really potent cocktail of two things, shame and guilt. Now, we throw these words around like they're the same thing, but they are fundamentally different. And understanding that difference, well, that's the first and most crucial step to taming that inner critic. So, let's break this down, shall we? There's a classic way to tell shame and guilt apart, and it's a really great starting point for getting what's happening in our own heads.
See the shift in focus here? It's huge. Shame is all about the self. It's a judgment on your entire being. It's not about the mistake, it's about you being the mistake. It's that feeling of, I am bad. Guilt, on the other hand, it zeroes in on the behavior. It separates the action from who you are. I did something bad. Now, this is a super helpful distinction, for sure, but it's not the whole story.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Some more recent research gives us a deeper, more precise way to look at this. A couple of cognitive scientists, Miceli and Cristiano Castelli, they argue that the real difference is in the kind of negative self-judgment we're making. This gets right to the heart of it.
So what they found is that shame is really rooted in a feeling of inadequacy. It's that gut punch feeling that you're fundamentally flawed, that you're lacking something important, that you're just not enough. It's a direct hit on the person you want to be, your ideal self. It attacks your very sense of worth.
Guilt, though, is about something else entirely, harmfulness. It's the feeling you get when you realize you've caused harm, and, this is the key, that you're responsible for it. See, this isn't about being defective, it's about being accountable. It's a blow to your moral self, that internal compass of right and wrong. So to boil it all down, shame whispers, I'm not enough, while guilt says, I'm responsible. Okay, so now we can diagnose the feeling. That's a huge first step, but what do we do about it? How do we get off this hamster wheel of beating ourselves up and actually move towards something more constructive? Well, the good news is there's a practical, proven path forward. And for that, we're going to turn to the work of Dr. Kristin Neff. She's a total pioneer in self-compassion research. She's developed a simple but incredibly profound three-step exercise to totally transform that inner dialogue. And get this, it's not about fighting the critic or silencing it. It's about changing the entire conversation. All right, step one is simple. Just notice the voice. Become a detective of your own thoughts. What are the exact words it's using? You're such a screw-up. What a loser. Actually write them down. Then step two, and this one might feel a little weird at first, but stick with me. You soften the voice. You actually talk back to it, but with compassion. You could say something like, I hear you. I know you're worried, but you're causing me pain. You acknowledge that this critic, in its own twisted way, is just trying to protect you. And finally, step three, you reframe the message. You translate it from harsh criticism into genuine support.
Let's see how this plays out. So your critical thought might be, you're such a loser for missing that meeting, okay? Your compassionate reframe immediately turns that into, it was a mistake. That could happen to anyone. But, and this is so important, it doesn't stop there. The next step is to get constructive. Instead of just beating yourself up, you offer yourself some real support, like a friend would. You know what? You've been staying up really late. Maybe you could try putting your phone away by 10 so you're more rested. See what just happened? You transformed all that energy of self-attack into the energy of self-improvement.
And really, that's the ultimate goal here. Look, that inner critic is probably never going to go away completely. And maybe it shouldn't. Its job is to spot threats, right? But what we can do is change its job description. We can transform it from this brutal, harsh judge into a concerned, if maybe a little clumsy, advisor. The goal isn't silence. It's a better internal conversation, one that's based on kindness and actually helping ourselves. So here's the takeaway.
By understanding the real difference between shame and guilt, and by practicing these few simple steps of self-compassion, we can fundamentally change our own internal world. Which leaves us with just one last question to think about. What could you achieve? What would become possible if the loudest voice in your head was also your biggest supporter?